What does rizq actually mean in Arabic, in Islam, and in the Arabic language? It literally means anything that you receive that benefits you. I repeat one more time, that rizq, mentioned in the Quran 128 times or so, means anything that you receive that benefits you. Unfortunately, the majority of people, when they talk about provision and rizq, what's the only thing they think about? Or majority of people, what do they focus on? Money. Is money the only thing that benefits us? It benefits, but is it the only thing? I will argue with you, and lots of scholars argue that it's among the last ones. A lot of people say money brings you happiness. It brings you some happiness, yes, but it's not all the happiness. So provision and sustenance comes in many different ways and types. Why do I say this? Some people have more money than others. Just because you have less money than someone else does not mean that Allah is not looking after you in other ways. Because if you start thinking only money, then you've restricted your entire life and your happiness to just that. That is a very shallow thinking and very narrow thinking. I'll give you an example. A person cannot make money if they don't have the intelligence. A person cannot make money if they don't learn how to make it. A person cannot make money from areas that they want to get into without having the knowledge and the skill for it. A person cannot make money if they don't have the opportunity. A person cannot make money if, for example, they want to get into an area that requires health but they're not healthy. So everybody has their own sustenance in a way that Allah knows you need it, and use that to your advantage as much as you can. It doesn't mean everybody's exactly the same. It doesn't mean just because you're not rich, it doesn't mean Allah is not looking after you. So change first of all the mindset that rizq is not just money. Money is just a means to something else. For example, if you have connections, that's wealth. You have connections with other people, with powerful people, that's wealth. You have a really good way of communicating. Communication is wealth. People are making amazing careers out of insignificant things, such as knowing how to use AI and the internet, social media. Isn't that correct? So the idea is rizq is not just money, but it's a whole lot of different types. We'll go through them inshallah. So anything a person benefits from is called rizq. Benefit from in your livelihood, and for a Muslim, also in your hereafter. Some people forget that rizq, provision and sustenance, is also for your hereafter. Let me explain to you. In the Quran, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَرِزْقُ رَبِّكَ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى, the rizq, the provision, the sustenance, the gift which Allah gives you is far better and more everlasting. What's he talking about here? Every time rizq is mentioned in the Quran, that Allah gives it to you, it generally means paradise, Jannah. Jannah is better than anything that you can ever imagine, and it is everlasting. Which rizq would you like? A temporary sustenance or an everlasting sustenance? Which one would you choose? Everlasting or temporary? Everlasting. Would you prefer a sustenance that's everlasting and better than a temporary and less worthy one? Or would you prefer a temporary less worthy than an everlasting better one? Obviously you want the latter. What's everlasting and better and far more greater worth.